We're gonna do a wrap on how I spent my time and my money for 2025. First and foremost, I spent 2025, my last year in my 20s. I kicked off the year vision boarding with one of my really good friends. I set my intentions to really connect with my emotions and learn how to be more emotionally present in my relationships. I also spent the year in love. I got upgraded to fiance after 13 years of dating my high school sweetheart. To help us get engaged, we actually hired cleaners. I love that for us. Instead of spending 260 hours cleaning, I spent time judging the toilet paper and towel art that my cleaners had for us. And I thank my cleaners from saving my fiance and I 52 arguments this year because he did not like our weekly deep cleans. I also spent my time traveling this year. I went to 16 different destinations in 10 months, which was exhausting, but also really worth it. We did not hop on one international flight in 2024, so really blessed that we were able to do that for 2025. We had 2 hotel booking scares where we showed up one place and didn't have a hotel book and the whole town was booked out, so we had to drive an hour and a half out. And we had another one where the whole entire reason for us to go to Italy was to stay at this one hotel, and we were checking into our flights and realized the hotel hadn't actually been booked. We had 1 lost luggage moment. We had 0 first class flights. And while I was vacationing, I spent a lot of time taking photos. In fact, I took 18,229 photos. This is my actual screen recording of all the photos that I took this year. Maybe you think I'm vain, but I'm actually an influencer and I spent so much time working my ass off on my social channels this year. I hit 14 million views on TikTok, almost 7 million views on YouTube. I had 15 brand partnerships, which is honestly surreal because I didn't get my first deal until July. I grew my followers to over 130,000 across all of my channels. My engagement was my most liked photo on Instagram with 500,000 views, which is crazy. I made $50,000 in just 5 months of partnerships. And some honorable mentions on my social channels is I started a podcast, Think Like a White Man, and that got me a guest speaking gig all the way in Sonoma, California. And I got an Essence feature for being a bold baddie. But let's get into the more interesting things on how I spent my money. As of the time that I pulled this data, my household spent almost $264,000 this year. 22% of that went to rent, 22% of that went to travel. I should have stayed my ass at home. 16% went to shopping, almost 11% went into health and wellness, so that's my brows, my nails, my massages, my waxes, all the above. 10% went into home. My biggest home purchase was a $16,000 couch, and 8% on food and drink. I threw all of this into ChatGPT and asked Chat, what does this say about my spending? ChatGPT says that I spend like someone who values freedom over accumulation, obviously with lots of travel. It says I treat wellness as infrastructure. I pay to protect my energy and time. I design a life that moves with me and not traps me. So let's talk about some of the ways that I spent my money. The worst ways that I spent my money are, at the very top is Iceland. It was really fucking expensive, it was really fucking long, and it was a glorified Yellowstone event. I had a great time at Iceland, however, could have spent a lot of money other ways. I spent $1,143 on a suit from Bloomingdale's that my fiance tried on for our engagement party that didn't fit. When I returned a suit, I accidentally returned it to ASOS instead of Bloomingdale's. Haven't gotten it back. But let's go into some of the best ways that I spent my money. I love spoiling my fiance. I spent $1,236.10 on my fiance's birthday weekend. Got him a private chef that came to our apartment and taught us how to cook a 4-course meal. That included a dry-aged chicken, a 24-hour brine chicken, osso buco, pasta dish, as well as a lava cake with a sour cherry filling, which was incredible. I also got him an Oura ring that he doesn't wear, and I got him an essential sweat set, and I got a matching one, and I beg him to match all the time, and he doesn't like it. And we went to the Nines Jazz Bar, which was so sexy and definitely one of the other highlights of that weekend. I went to see Beyonce 2 times. It was absolutely worth it. I went in New York City when I barely knew the album. Then I started listening to the album. It was fucking amazing. I had to go again, so I went in Atlanta with my best friend. Jay-Z came out with that one. Oh my fucking God. And I almost went a 3rd time, but then I was like, I need to be financially responsible. I almost spent $800 on Beyonce this year. I spent $8,615 on my birthday weekend at the Dolomites. That was the best vacation of my entire life. Dolomites was the most unreal view that I ever saw. I woke up every morning and I asked if my eyes were actually seeing it because it looked like AI. I spent $450 on a personal assistant buying my time back. She's helped me book my massages. She's helped me book my waxes. She helps me figure out all of my passwords that I can never remember. She submits all of my home maintenance requests, and she helps me with my social media on the side. I spent $600 on a Finance Tempur-Pedic mattress. My back has never felt better. My sleep has never felt better. It's giving I'm almost turning 30 when I'm investing so much money in a mattress. Some of the TMI places that I spent my money are I spent almost $1,300 getting my pussy waxed, but also Also, that's my whole body, but I like to be vulgar. This was the first time I've ever had this expense this year, and I'm never going back. In fact, I need to budget more money next year so that I can get more areas on my body waxed. And I spent $45.20 on bleaching my asshole. I definitely fell on bleaching my asshole TikTok, and I was like, oh my god, I should do that. With this new stat, also increased the number of times that I did look at my asshole this year. But I thought that was interesting data that I did share with my best friend this year. Also, with that said, not everything has to cost anything, so I've had so many more priceless moments this year. I had my engagement party where for the very first time ever, my fiance's family, my family, and my friends were all in one place, and honestly, I'm missing that really incredible feeling. I had a new nephew born. He's cute AF, and I love seeing my future sister-in-law and my future brother-in-law become parents. It's just an amazing thing to be able to witness. I have screenshots from when I called my family and friends from when I got engaged, and this year I wanted to prioritize just falling in love with doing the mundane things with my fiance. His favorite food is chicken, so I learned how to make a delicious chicken and successfully did that this year. I fell in love with making branzino for two and having a lot of romantic date nights because we got a table for the first time in 4 years, and we spent lots of time playing chess around the city, and that was a fun and new casual hobby for us. I do want to make sure that I add that I also saved this year too. I saved $80,000 and I opened a high yield savings account. It took me way too long to open a high yield savings account. I had so much money that I just left on the table because I was too lazy to find one. It is a poor man's decision to not have a high yield savings account, so don't do that. Thanks for watching my How I Spent My Year 2025 Wrapped.